Do you see it, boy? This is a test, which is fitting, for God measures us all in some way. This day, here and now, the test is yours. Step forward and seek his favor. He created the hammer as a crucible for the unworthy, but for those who are more, it is an awakening. I did it. You have been reborn worthy. I am older than most, but before even my time there is a legend that the heavens were full of stars. A sea of them, and little difference between the day and night, and now there are so few. So where did they go? And why there one fewer every year? Look in your hand. It was the All-Father who plucked the stars from the heavens, and from each forged our hammers. They all have different names. You will name yours, but they all serve the same purpose. Justice. It has a purpose, just as you have a purpose. And we Thors are the law, just as the All-Father intended. What do I do now? Now you bend your knee, brother, for God is watching. And from now until the end of days, we all labor to keep his peace. Welcome, Brother Thor. Welcome to the most noble of undertakings. There is no higher calling.
Yes, however, before the accruing of honor, before glory, there is the change. Steady yourself, young one. It can be overwhelming.
The change? Aye. Physical challenges to tax the back and shoulders, mental ones to challenge the mind. It is no small thing becoming a hammer of God, especially if you come from humble beginnings. He's asking where you're from, brother.
Higher Avalon.
Ah, a kingdom in good standing with the throne. I take it then you are well learned, that you know your histories?
Well, yes.
Then entertain us, boy. Tell us the story.
There was nothing, followed by everything. Swirling, burning specks of creation that circled life-giving suns. God, Doom, created the light. Then there was earth. The firmament cooled and he raised up a land. This holy land, the world, and upon it he set his kingdoms.
Yes, the kingdoms. And have you ever traveled beyond the kingdom where you were born, brother?
Only here. Only for the testing. Only this place.
Many kingdoms, and there are those among our order who would say most often crave the heavy end of the hammer. From our high seat here in Doomgard, we allow no breaking of God's laws. Doom demands order, and order pleases him. Tell me, do you want to please him, brother?
Yes.
Very well then. This is the world and there are sinners in it. Let us do justice.
Okay, we're here. Are you sure of what you found?
I'm sure we found something, Minister Powers, but as soon as we started examining it, we knew we needed to call in the experts. Honestly, we didn't even know that something like that was down there until the earthquake uncovered it.
It wasn't an earthquake.
Okay, Alex, we're ready. Let's go.
Be careful, Minister. Once you go through, the gravity reverses.
I think I'll manage. Cool!
Excuse me, Thunder, but what did you mean it wasn't an earthquake?
One of the experiments I've been conducting at the Foundation is mapping and comparing the seismic activity of each kingdom. It's not something we broadcast.
Yeah, because some people are obsessed with contradictory theories about the origin of the universe. It's called confirmation bias for a reason, Dragon.
I'm right to question Bentley. Look at all this down here. There's literally megatons of evidence that this world is not a naturally occurring construct, but rather a composite of some other kind of...
Anyway, what Dragon Man is trying to say is that the data doesn't support an earthquake.
Then what was it?
Oh, it's a cover. The earthquake story is a ruse. Fabricated, I'm sure, so that the good people of Utopolis don't freak out when they learn another Hulk got loose on the mainland.
My God!
Yeah, Hulks are the worst. That must be it.
The subatomic structure of this object is unusual. First glance, my best guess would be some kind of fabricated exotic matter. Alex, this is really quite something.
So what would you like for us to do, Minister?
What do you think? You're a digger. Dig it out.
The All-Father is God King of this world. But the world you know, the kingdoms, extend only from the great ocean in the northern hemisphere to the Badlands in the south. Our home, the precinct of Doomgod, lies west of Doomstad and Castle Doom itself. Look now. Below us is Higher Avalon, from which you hail, and the impetus for today's justice. It looks so different from up here. Newfound power leads to new perspective, boy, which will serve you well from this day forward. All told, there are almost 100 major and minor houses, your Higher Avalon being only one. We have jurisdiction over all of them. Understand? Even now your former liege, Baron James Braddock, awaits for us to deliver God's justice. Once, as a boy, I saw the Baron from the street. He waved at those of us gathered in the crowd. He seemed above the whims of others, certainly above waiting on us. Yes, to a peasant, A baron would surely seem a king, just as to a baron, a king might seem a god. For some, this is a comfort. For others, it is less so. No small number of God's children spend their days in the light of doom's favor. Others fall outside his grace, but many live their lives in between. This, I believe, is the unrefined state of man, the beliefs of one putting them in conflict with another, kingdoms at war with other kingdoms. You looked up at your baron with adoration as he waved at you. I tell you truly, others there in the crowd would have preferred to pull him down. The envious forget to what station they are born. Their natural position chafes, and they crave to be something more. It is a sickness, and we are but one of God's cures. Move aside. Make way for justice.
Ah, the law. How very trashy.
Baron Sinister, in accordance with the will of your Maker, you have been summoned to Castle Doom to answer for the crime of discord.
Are you sure you have the right man?
I am, but one could resist if one were so inclined.
And on the off chance I'm found guilty, will there be sentencing today as well?
The High Court has been assembled to bear witness. Brother, write the words. God is waiting.
Like this?
Yes, Vehunatis Urus will always return you to Doomstadt.
Well, if I have an audience, then I'm inclined to give them a show. I will play the accused, and you will be my escorts, Old Man Thunder and his ward Lightning. Shall we?
Very well. To Doomstadt, where world-eating sentinel stands guard over Castle Doom. Where the High Court convenes, and where God Doom himself sits in judgment on his throne, Yggdrasil, the World Tree. As ordered, the accused.
Baron Sinister, as Sheriff of Agamotto, I serve as the right hand of Doom, his irrevocable voice, and the arbiter of this proceeding. As such, unless there is divine intervention, my judgment will be final. I am the law. You have been charged with discord by the House Braddock. I have presented with evidence showing that you have secretly and illegally aligned yourself with Hyperion, the Baron of Utopolis, in opposition to Higher Avalon.
Laughable.
And that you are in violation of all known border treaties of supplying...
Sheriff, this is an absurd accusation, beyond the fact that I have no desire to engage in some great game of intrigue. There is another problem with this story. There is an ocean between my kingdom and theirs.
We know that you hired the Iron Pirates as couriers, Sinister.
Lies. And even if they aren't, you couldn't prove it. Are there any other charges? Is this always how it is? So formal? Within the borders of each kingdom, as long as the resolute laws of doom are followed, he permits each baron or baroness complete control of their province. But as for disputes between kingdoms, that is this court's domain. Sometimes skirmishes are resolved so amicably that formal alliances are formed, like those between the upper and lower kingdoms of Egyptia. Often they are settled unevenly. There are winners and losers in the Court of Doom, such as the former Baroness Pryor, unseated and contained by the Ascent Baron Summers. And then there are the conquered. The horsemen all once had their own kingdoms. Now they bend their knee to the Baron Apocalypse. You asked me if it is always this formal. Yes, it is, until it is not. All of this is decided by the sheriff. As he stated earlier, he will decide their guilt or innocence and determine their sentence.
And the final charge? Words have meaning, and you have also been accused of libel, my lord.
Oh, that. All I said was she looked like a cow.
Lady Megan is with child!
Yours? Well, that's even worse, isn't it?
Truth is sometimes a malleable thing. Justice, on the other hand. I have measured the evidence provided against your predictable denials, Baron, and I find you guilty. You will pay restitution, either in gold or territory.
I think not.
Excuse me?
You heard what I said. I choose to meet my accuser in the arena. As a Baron of the Kingdoms of Doom, this is a luxury afforded to me. Braddock can refuse, of course, but if he does, the charges must be withdrawn. Then that will be that, and I will be on my way.
It is the law, Baron Braddock.
What say you, Braddock? Consider yourself above the law? Above God's law?
I will gladly take up.
I wasn't speaking to you, Baron, but your lord brother.
What?
Or would you rather, oh, I don't know, return to the fields of Avalon? Young master? Milk for cows?
These are fighting words! I will fight you then!
Brian, this is no game.
I can do this, Jamie. I want to. I have to.
Please be careful, brother. He's more than he seems.
There's no denying that you're a strapping young lad, Master Brian. Stun sticks to unconsciousness is the order of the day, but I'd wager that not only could you lift a small castle, but you could also beat me to pulp with just a normal stave, couldn't you?
Let's just say I'm strong enough.
Well, I doubt it. Now you've gone and made me curious.
Roar!
Look, Maestro! Lord Braddock hit him so hard the Baron came asunder!
If only defeating Sinister was that easy.
Brian, look out!
Consider my thirst for curiosity quenched. Do you know yet, Lord Brian, the child your wife carries? Is it a boy or a girl? I wonder, will the lady name it Brian if it's boy, and perhaps Brianna if it's a girl? I would hope not. Sentimentality is sickening enough, but burdening a child with the name of their failed dead father? That's just so common. And now, it's over!
No! Brian!
Both of you, on your knees. I care little for your petty disagreements, yet doom has saved you, young Lord Braddock. Perhaps gratitude is in order. Higher Avalon sits below the kingdom of Manhattan and is long rumored to be the most favorable conduit for reaching the silent chambers. You have heard this, yes? The silent chambers where heretics and thieves work to cast me down from my throne.
I have.
Did you know that when faced with confession, there is one name they whisper, and it is Braddock? You will tell me where I might find this hidden citadel, and you will tell me now.
I'm sorry. I don't know where it is.
If one is given full dominion over a kingdom, is not that kingdom, all of it, his domain? So I must ask you, if you see nothing, if you say nothing, if you do nothing, what good are you? I find you at fault, doomed. Your eyes, your tongue, your hands, and feet are all forfeit.
No! King Doom, wait! It was not my brother they spoke of. It was me. Then you are guilty, my lord. Thors, please place the Baron under arrest for his punishment to be.
No, a baron of one of my kingdoms has betrayed me, a cancer that cannot be allowed to remain. Pull the entire house down. The entire royal family is to be publicly... Victor, mercy. Yes, Susan, of course. The Lord Brian is elevated to Baron. Young master, the kingdom is now yours. See to it that you serve me better than your brother who ruled before you. And furthermore, I order Baron Sinister to be publicly whipped, and the former Baron of Avalon removed from my sight.
Yes, old father.
Do well, brother. I am sorry, and thank you for your mercy, my king.
The mercy was for the innocent. I have none for you, Braddock.
You get the shield.
Valeria, are you coming? I'll catch up, Mum. I need to speak with the sheriff first.
I hope whatever news you have is mundane, Valeria. I would rather be done with the excitement for the day.
I'm not sure I can promise you that, Stephen. As you know, the two offices we hold represent the dueling ideologies of my father. You are the law, while I am his left hand, the foundation.
Yes, science called discovery and religion called doom.
Exactly. So in the past, our two independent branches, you and I, have had our fair share of disagreements.
Young lady, why do I feel like you're getting ready to tell me something I should already know?
Actually, that's exactly the opposite of what's happening here. I'm bringing this to you immediately as I believe we've just had such an incident. Minister Powers uncovered something interesting.
Oh? Couldn't help myself here, sir. I just love bright, shiny things.
I've looked over the findings in Alex's initial report. Like much of what lies below the surface of this planet, the object is made of some fairly exotic stuff, structurally different than what we've encountered before, but well within what I would recall the realm of possible matter.
Valeria, I'm not sure what...
Keep reading. Third paragraph of the analysis. After the design schematic of the object, it's something new, and the law might call impossible, possibly heretical, as the carbon dating of the object puts its age somewhere well before the...
That's quite enough, Valeria. If true, this is schism. I will send agents to seal off the site, and you will recall your team, suspending all research activities immediately. I am invoking quarantine. $250 feet tall and 16,000 miles long, each bit built by a god Doom's own hands. As good a place as any for a man to die. Once I saw you from the street as a boy. I looked up and imagined you a god. Or if not a god, at least something greater than just a man. And now you get to watch me fall. Look how far you've come. I have absolutely no desire to see such a thing, my lord. Then this will be a lesson for you. One you should learn now and remember for all your days. There are no great men above reproach. Just God and his whims to which we are mercy. I'm sorry, but it's time, Baron. Have you any last words? When they come to pull you down, don't let them drag you, son. You jump, and take as many of the bastards with you as you can.
What's that I smell? Fresh meat. So sweet. Carve you up, pass you out. Yeah, I'm gonna share you with the others, but only on one condition. I'm gonna keep your brains for myself.
This is the horror that lies beyond the wall. The Deadlands.
built to keep out the nightmares that live there. The shield holds back not just the zombie horde, but also the seasonal migration of the drone army that is the Annihilation Wave, both of which pale in comparison to the damned Ultron AI, self-replicating super-evolving automatons that systematically try to break containment every generation. We and the Sentinels who guard the shield have lost many defending it over the years. It is no small burden, this calling of ours, as you are learning now. It's done. He died well for someone who just this morning had the world at his feet.
Yes, well, it was the will of God, wasn't it? Who are we to question such a thing?
Providence, the crucible of the faithful. If that will be all for today, Sheriff, the great Hall of Doom God calls, and I long for the loving embrace of Mead.
Unfortunately, there's one more thing I need before you're done for the day.
What could there possibly?
I need an old hand at the wheel for what is a very old problem. Schism. We've suffered a breach, and it must be contained.
Sheriff, if the heretics of AIM have once again started...
No, this has nothing to do with seditious conspiracy stories spun by advanced idea mythologies. Old friend, this is real. This is concrete. There is an object. I need it quarantined and later examined.
Quarantined?
Yes. Children fear stories of monsters. Men fear the specter of death. And God, he fears the loss of believers. Quarantine is for things that cause doubt.
We stopped as soon as the word came down. A bit too quickly, if you ask me. Lots of interesting stuff here. Hard to keep my hands off it.
Do not touch. Understand?
What do you mean by doubt?
You now live in a floating castle. It's a strange world out there. Chaotic. Sometimes things occur that seem to contradict the Godhead of Doom.
Well, are they real?
Don't touch, don't touch! Ooh, that looks interesting.
The question isn't are they real, it's do they matter. There is an order to this world, and that order has a name. It is Doom, and there is nothing lurking in the shadows that can threaten his reign. If there was, we would stand against.
God forgive me, it's just so.
Oh no. Stop!
Oh, been opened.
Stay back.
What is it? What's in there? What do you see?
My God-doomed grave. Go. Go. Go now. Tell the sheriff that we found death here. Fly, brother. Fly. What is this place?
Not our Earth. Not any planet in our native galaxy, that's for sure.
But we're alive, so the design you stole worked. I've also accessed the raft's diagnostics. The compression of all space-time might have led to some kind of external distortion while we were in stasis. But there is something very wrong with these readings.
Thanos, I found this one trying to slip away. Perhaps he can tell us.
Yes, Proxima. Perhaps he can. Tell me, creature. Tell me. Where are we?
This is Doom's world, which he made to test both the faithful and the unforgiven. The firmament created with his own hands.
I want a name, you dithering feeble worm.
This place? The Highborn call it Latverian. Believers call it God's Kingdom. But everyone else, we common folk, call it something else. We call it Battle World.